Hello, church, and I'm glad to be here with you again for another Wednesday devotional. I hope that you'll enjoy it. We're going to be talking out of Mark chapter 12, starting in verse 13. And it's just going to be a pretty short devotional about what God wants from you in his kingdom. As members of his kingdom, God asks a lot of you, and we're going to be going over a particular instance in which people were trying to corner Jesus, and that Jesus made a few enemies along the way. And what's happening here is that in this passage, you have people that are going to try and force Jesus to pick a side. They actually force the issue of taxes on him. We read in verse 13, it says, "And they sent to him some of the Pharisees and some of the Herodians to trap him in his talk. And they came to him and said to him, 'Teacher, we know that you are true and do not care about anyone's opinion, for you are not swayed by appearances, but truly you teach the way of God. Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should we pay them or should we not?'" And they ask this question. They give all this flattery to Jesus, trying to butter him up, right? And to try and force him into speaking his true opinion, right? "We know that you don't pay attention to what other people think. We know that you speak truth clearly. So please tell us, should we or should we not pay taxes?" And what they are trying to do is they're trying to trap him. Either they're putting him in an either or situation. They're trying to say, either you tell us we should pay taxes, and then the Jewish people will hate me because they don't want to pay taxes to Caesar, because he's, one, their oppressor, and two, being falsely worshipped by a lot of people. And they think that if these people that are trying to trap him say, if he admits to paying taxes to Caesar or tells people that they should, all of his following will be gone, and then we can arrest him, right? Or on the other hand, they're saying, if he tells them not to pay taxes, then Roman officials can arrest him for dodging taxes, right? And so they're trying to put him in between this rock and this hard place so that they can get one over on him. However, Jesus' response threads the needle here. Verse 15, it says, "But knowing their hypocrisy, he said to them, 'Why put me to the test? Bring me a denarius and let me look at it.' And they brought one, and he said to them, 'Whose likeness and inscription is this?' They said to him, 'Caesar's.' Jesus said to them, 'Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's.' And they marveled at him." So Jesus responds, and it's almost dismissive the way that he responds, right? He says, "Why do you put me to the test?" He knows what their intention is here. And he says, "Why are you bothering me with this? Right? Bring me a coin." And he has them show him the face that's on the coin. He says, "Whose face is this?" And they say Caesar's, right? His face would be the one imprinted on that coin, right? And so he says, "Well, pay to Caesar, give Caesar's what belongs to him, because his face is on the coin, right? But give to God what is God's." And that's the important part, right? See, Jesus is trying to say you've lost priority on this because you're caught up in a political game of taxes, right? And he's saying, just go ahead and pay the taxes. It's whatever. It's a worldly thing. If your government demands it of you, whatever. It is all stuff that will be destroyed anyway, right? Give to Caesar what belongs to him. However, he says, give to God what is God's. And the immediate reaction to that, right, is, well, if the coin is Caesar's because his likeness and inscription is on it, then what is God's is that which has his likeness and inscription on it. And in our Old Testament, right, we know who was made in God's image, and it's mankind. And so Jesus, his whole point is, look, I don't want you to get caught up in the games of the world. I don't want you to get distracted by government or politics or argument or discussion. I don't want you to make secondary things your biggest issue. But I want you to give God what is God's. I want you to give God everything that you have, because you belong to him. Because he made you, he created you, he gave you a purpose, and he wants you to fulfill that. And so So long as paying taxes doesn't get in the way of of being God's possession, being made in His likeness, then you must do it. And so, church, I hope that you'll be encouraged by this. I hope you remember whose you are. That God made you in His image. He made you in His likeness, and He demands all of us. Right? When we are part of His kingdom, we must be all in. And I hope that you will not get distracted by all the things the world wants to throw at you. Whatever minor arguments people want to put in your way, whatever politics or whatever garbage is in front of you, I just pray that you will push it aside and that it will not get in the way of what is most important, which is your relationship with your Creator. Because God wants a relationship with you. He wants to bless you. He wants to do good things with you and through you. And you can't let the little stuff get in the way. So, church, I hope that you'll be encouraged. I hope this has been good for you. And I will see you next week. All right? Love you. And take care.